everyone, welcome to today's video. When I tell you that the month of August has been like the month of full bloom around our house, I am not exaggerating. There's just so many gorgeous flowers and plants that are coming up right now, and I've just been taking full advantage of it. I've been making a flower arrangement for my countertop like at least once a week. And you guys, I am not a florist, but when I tell you that these arrangements are looking like professional level, I get compliments on them every time someone comes over, and these arrangements are just bringing me so much joy and beauty and color around my house. So yeah, I thought it would be fun to do a tutorial to kind of show you how I do it, my strategy, and yeah, I hope this inspires you. So let's get started. Okay, so the vase I'm using is just this clear vase from Hobby Lobby, and I'm also using floral foam. Both of these are just a couple of dollars, so if you have a Hobby Lobby, I would utilize that. And then I also have some water with flower food. And I don't know, there might be like a more proper way, but I just stick this foam in. You want it pretty snug, because once you fill it up with water, it'll kind of try to float out until it soaks up the water, which can take quite a bit of time. So yeah, this is too big. I'm gonna cut it down just a little bit. Perfect. And then obviously this doesn't look very pretty. You can see the foam underneath the glass, but at the end, when I'm done, I'm gonna cover this in like just a basic brown wrapping paper, and it's gonna look really pretty. I'm gonna start off with greenery. Greenery is super important. Obviously, like a bouquet of just flowers is really gorgeous, but when you think about it, when you go out into nature and you see these wonderful pops of colors, what's making them stand out so much is the greenery behind them. Don't miss out on greens. And I would say that it's important to do them first. If you're adding your greenery while you're adding the flowers, or if you do it afterwards, it has a tendency to kind of take over and hide the flowers. So I like to do it first, and then I add the flowers at the end. I have the luxury of having like all these cool plants around my house, so I just kind of went out and picked whatever I thought would look nice. You might not have that luxury. You might have to just see like what the grocery store has, or just deal with the resources that you have, which is obviously going to be very different. One thing I did go out and buy was this eucalyptus. It smells really good. It's gorgeous. It's really interesting to look at. And it was about $5 from Albertsons. So if you have an Albertsons, it might be worth going there to see what they have. And then the rest are just things that I found around the house, outside. A good concept to go by, to have things that are interesting to look at. So these right here, I would consider this like a type of greenery that has a pop of color. And it has like that firework look to it. So it's interesting to look at, right? This is called stone crop. I don't know. I had to use like a plant identifier on my phone to figure a lot of these out. Would be in the similar category. This is called Autumn's Joy. Just such a pretty name. It's also good to have plants that are like a line. I don't know the best way to describe that, but that would be something like this. Like, see how it just shoots straight up? This is called lamb's ear. And when I went to pick this, like, I thought there was a rattlesnake in my garden, because if you listen, it sounds like a rattlesnake. I also am a little freaked out by it because it's really furry. And it's just a weird plant, but figured it'd be interesting. But yeah, that line shape adds a lot of contrast to your arrangement. And then the next thing you want to have in your arrangement would be a filler to fill in any gaps. So we have a peony bush, but it's like long past its season. It's not blooming peonies right now because it's August, almost September. And we're gonna have to cut it back anyways once the season comes to an end. So I just grab some clippings of those, and I think those will be a really lovely filler. And I also have oregano. Again, this smells amazing. Herbs are a great thing. You want to add something pretty that also smells good when you walk past it. So yeah, I figured this oregano would be a good filler. So I'm just gonna go for it. This green foam is nice because you can really get precise with like what angles you want them at. One thing you do wanna do with your greenery and your flowers is like choose a spot where the stem is gonna come up out of the vase, but then like get rid of whatever is below it. That will make your arrangement last longer and it'll just kind of keep it clean. The water and everything gets yucky if you don't do that. I will usually start with one plant and then once I've gone through all of those clippings, I'll move on to a different plant. Might not look good from all angles. I don't know if that's proper floristry, but see, like I have to turn it towards you for you to get the idea of what it's gonna look like. But I'm going for like a fan shape. I think that that's just easiest. But obviously, it just depends on what you're going for. There's so many different shapes and designs you can do, but I find that the fan shape is really classic. When you get plants like this, like see how these are turning in. This has been eaten by a bug. I'm actually gonna get rid of those. These are spreading seeds like everywhere, so I don't think I'm actually gonna include them. That was my mistake. You live and you learn. And this is the greenery part. Honestly, like a bouquet in itself. But as you see, as we start to add like the dimension of all these gorgeous flowers, it's gonna look phenomenal. Just to reiterate, I focused on a fan shape, so taller up here and then shorter to the sides and just filled it in. When I was working with a specific plant, I started on the sides and then I see what needed to be filled in the gaps, like in the middle. Okay, so now we are on to flowers. Yay, the best part. I'm gonna show you what I have. So you want a focal point flower. Usually this is like a big, bold, beautiful centerpiece of the arrangement. That would be like a rose or a peony. I don't have either of those around the house, so I did go to the store and I bought some roses. These were like 10 bucks from Albertsons. And these are gonna be my focal point flower. And I'm gonna put these in first because they're the star of the show. And then all the other flowers that I put in are going to be placed in a way that complements them best. Had some snapdragons growing. These are called obedient plant. I don't make the names, guys. These were just growing around. We'll start with the roses and then we'll move on to the rest of them. And just like we did with the greenery, I'm gonna take off all the leaves that are on the bottom portion. Supposedly this is what florists do with roses. You take off the guard petals, which is like the outer layer of petals. And you can honestly go as far as you want with it. And then you fluff out what's left. And there's really no guide for placement here. Like, it's a lot of just feeling out where you think things should go. So it's the fun of the creativity process. I think I'm gonna stop it there with the roses. Oh, it's looking so good. Like, you can honestly just stop here. And just like I said with the greenery, flowers are kind of the same concept. You want something that's like straight, and then you want something that could be a gap filler. And if you have a weird flower like this, where it's curved in, I'm just gonna make sure that where I place it, that it leans towards the center. I have the finished result. Look how stunning that is. Like, I feel like I picked this up from the local florist, you know? She's definitely heavy on the pink, but that's okay. It reminds me of like a sweet 16th birthday arrangement. I hope this inspired you. I have so much fun doing this. I do this every week. It's actually really easy to do. I think I spent probably between like $20 and $30, but it's so worth it in my opinion. And it's cheaper than buying a professional arrangement. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you guys on the next video. Bye.